So this is Nang Ram. It's the second fragrance I bought from the brand Journal, and I bought it because it's a gorgeous cherry focus scent, and this is my review. And in this video I'm gonna share why I bought it and why I think it's so good. The other fragrance I bought from this brand is Mango Sticky Rice. I'm gonna link to my review of it in the description below and somewhere up here. So if you're a subscriber, then you know that I'm all about the juice inside. The bottles are a nice thing if they are a nice thing, but I actually kind of like these bottles. So I'm not sure you can see this, but I paid 2,600 baht for 50 ml of Namrang, which is a bit above 75 bucks and 56 pounds. So we have cherry at the top, rose and jasmine sambac at the heart of it, and agarwood, frankincense, tonka bean, vanilla, benzoin, and sandalwood at the base. So let's spray it on. Decent spray, by the way. So straight away, which is pretty much the main reason why I bought Nang Ram, is that you get an intense dose of cherry right away, together with quite a prominent dose of vanilla. Gorgeously fruity with cherry right away, and the vanilla, even though it's listed as a base note, comes through right away, at least to my nose in the opening. That combo, the cherry and vanilla, is so sexy right away, and that's basically why I bought it. This is such a sexy scent, and I do feel that if you absolutely love the scent of cherry together with a bit of vanilla, then you'll most likely enjoy the opening of this. And just a minute or two after you spray it on, you get the floral side of it. So a bit of jasmine and a bit of rose. I know a lot of guys are afraid of floral notes in fragrances. However, I do feel the floral side of this is something unisex, and I do feel the floral side of it basically adds a layer of excitement and something quite sexy to the cherry from the opening. And the heart of it is also where Nang Ram starts to get quite intensely ambery. And this is when I start to pick up on something sort of a Baccarat Rouge 540. So the ambery side of this gives me a bit of Baccarat Rouge 540 vibes. However, this and that one are definitely not the same. I guess one way to sort of describe the scent of Nang Ram at the heart of it is that it's a mix of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Baccarat Rouge 540, but with a twist. So almost like if you took the sweetness and the cherry and the vanilla from Lost Cherry and blended it with the ambery side of Baccarat Rouge 540. Sort of like that, but with a twist. The dry down is where the whole thing evolves, and evolves in quite a big way. So to my nose, the dry down is where quite a prominent dose of woodiness with oud taking the lead starts to balance up the cherry from the opening and the mids. You get a prominent dose of oud and sandalwood. However, I do feel that the woodness of it all, the oud, is very smooth. It's definitely not something that is challenging in any way. The oud is very, very smooth and sort of a mass appealing for an oud. And the sandalwood basically brings the whole thing quite a creamy and smooth dose of woodiness. So the dry down is basically woody with a combination of smooth oud and a creamy sandalwood. The cherry with its fruitiness is still there. However, I do feel that when Nang Ram hits the dry down, the whole thing is more sort of a balance thanks to the woodiness of it all. And you have a gorgeous dose of vanilla, basically bringing the whole thing even more sexiness and mass appeal. The floral side is still there, but I do feel that once Nang Ram hits the dry down, the floral side of it starts to soften up quite a bit, and the whole thing is still intensely ambery. And again, one way to sort of describe Nang Ram is that if you took the vanilla, cherry and sweetness from Lost Cherry from Tom Ford and blended it with the ambery side of Baccarat Rouge 540, added a very mass appealing dose of oud to it all, added a creamy dose of sandalwood to it all, and made the whole thing a bit balsamic. To my nose, this blend has a lot of layers to it. I do think it's an absolutely fantastic one. That's basically why I bought it. And even though it does remind me of at least a couple of other fragrances, I do feel it has a bit of uniqueness to it. So let's talk a bit about the vibe of Journal's Nang Ram. the cherry basically in a well-made fragrance always adds a ton of sexiness to a scent, and this is definitely something that is intensely sexy. The woody side of it though does add a soft, sort of a classy and elegant vibe to it. But to my nose, Nang Ram definitely has an intense, sexy vibe to it. So let's talk a bit about compliments and mass appeal. This is definitely a compliment getting kind of scent. This definitely has quite a lot of mass appeal to it, and I do feel that most people who will pick up on this will enjoy it. The performance on my skin at least is very good. This is not beast mode, but on my skin this projects quite well for at least a few hours, and it does last for hours. However, Nang Ram is definitely not a beast mode kind of scent, but the scent cloud is pretty good for at least a few hours, and people will most likely notice this if they are within sort of a normal conversation range. So here are my thoughts on usage, so like seasons and occasions. I do feel that Nang Ram has quite a lot of layers to it. I also feel it does have quite a bit of depth to it. However, I do not feel this is something that is overly intensely deep or heavy in any way. So I do feel you can use this throughout the year. I'm definitely going to enjoy this throughout the year, but with a focus on summer nights, fall, winter and spring. But I mean, this definitely smells good with a bit of warmth as well. As for occasions, I mean, come on, this is such a sexy scent. So I do feel this is absolutely perfect when you're going on a date and if you're going out. It's definitely not a freshie, so it won't be something that I will be reaching for when I want a fresh scent on me. So who is Nang Ram for? The sort of a baseline here, obviously, is that you should know that you enjoy cherry in fragrances. If you absolutely love cherry focused scents, then I do feel this is something you should probably check out. Stay away if that's not the case. And if you think you would enjoy cherry together with quite a prominent dose of vanilla, a sort of a softer floral side together with quite a prominent dose of woodiness with a focus on what I think is a more sort of a mass appealing kind of oud, then this might be something for you. The whole thing does have a bit of sweetness to it, even though I do not feel Nang Ram is overly sweet in any way, and I also feel it's quite intensely ambery. So I do feel you can't be allergic to a bit of sweetness in fragrances, and I also feel that you should know that you enjoy quite intensely ambery fragrances. And like I previously described, this could almost sort of be described like if you took the vanilla, sweetness and cherry from Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and blended it with the amberiness of Baccarat Rouge 540 and gave the whole thing a bit of a twist and uniqueness. And if that sounds like something you think you would enjoy, then this is for you. If not, then stay away. When it comes to alternatives to Nang Ram, I actually don't have a lot of alternatives to it in my collection, but I do feel like I previously mentioned that Lost Cherry would be a good alternative to this. And I do feel that one is an alternative for someone who prefers something that is more intensely focused on sweetness and cherry and less woody. If you tried Nang Ram and know a few more alternatives, please do share those in the comments. So how am I going to rate Nang Ram from Journal? So the reason why I bought it was pretty much because of its intense dose of cherry in the opening and the way the whole thing becomes quite layered with vanilla and a prominent dose of woodiness together with what I think is quite a mass appealing dose of oud and a creamy dose of sandalwood and a bit balsamic and gorgeously ambery. That's basically what I'm getting from this. This to my nose with the cherry is intensely sexy. A gorgeous scent overall, and that's why I bought it. Nang Ram is definitely, at least to me, among some of the very best cherry focused scents around, and this to me is easily worth at least 9. If there would have been a bit more sort of a pop to it, and if the whole thing would have been a bit more intense, then I would definitely have given it a 10. Now this is where I want to hear from you. Have you tried Nang Ram? And if so, what do you think of it? Do you think it's a good one? Do you think it's a bad one? And how would you rate Journal's Nang Ram from 1 to 10? Drop a like and subscribe for more. Make sure you check out my other fragrance videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.